We are ready for our next run. I hope you enjoyed that water and stretch break because our next runner is making their first ever Multithon appearance and is an extremely talented shoot-'em-up gummer. In fact, they are the world record holder for the very game they are about to run. So let's get hyped and join me in welcoming Mageius as they do a run of Macross shooting insight. Suit up, Mageius.
Thanks for that amazing introduction, Joe. Hi all, I'm Mageius1. Technically, you can call me world record holder for this one, but when no one else is running it at present, well, it is what it is there. Anyway, I have with me on commentary.
Hello, I'm the Valiant Son, or you can call me Jess. I'm really excited about getting to watch this game.
I mean, hey, I sent you a lot of notes on that one, and I think you all enjoy it. Anyway, before we start, I want to try to explain one thing about the run here, so give me a minute. With this, I'm starting at stage 2 here just to explain something. Notice how my health is. We have 3 different modes on that one. This is just one of those things on that one. Down there. In a second. Although smups are not one of my top things, as I do run a lot of different things, but I want you all to see something here. I'm going to take a bunch of damage here to showcase something. Mind you, I'm showing this to you on hard mode. Just for now, just to showcase this. This stage, of practicing has been a full, like double, like perfect, like S++ rank. Now, you saw how much health I had. See how little this gets. That's how much I'd get for healing, and that's on a generous thing. It's even less on very hard mode, if we do meet that incentive. Anyway, the one other part I've got to showcase is just how much of a impact the estimate is based on just pure possibility of a death. Because Spout's trying to tag me for something quick. Oh. Table. It's on the table here. Sorry, I'll had to enter something quick with the misses. Anyway, just to show you the beginning of, like, you saw how much health I, got. Let's get this quick. Okay, come on, game. Thank you. Be kind. Be kind on that one. Anyway, just to explain one quick thing on just how hard this run can be. That is exactly like where I'll go back to for any mission that I die. I immediately go back to the beginning of it. I do not have any checkpoints until the end of a mission, and you can see just I do not get that much healing. I am pointing this out relatively because of how much it can affect things. Shin here is the MC from the Macross 0. We'll have to showcase this, make sure I've got the DLC on, which I do, which is based off of the first movie, Do You Remember Love? So you're all going to get to enjoy that one. We want to start at the first stage here. I'll need to know what difficulty.
Absolutely, Mageius. I've got you covered. Everybody, thank you so much. We were able to raise $65 towards Macross shooting insight and that upgrade, but we are going to be going, I believe, for hard mode. Is that right, Mageius?
Yep, I do believe so on that one, sadly. But you'll still get to enjoy a lot of stuff on it.
Absolutely. We are looking forward to it. And again, thank you so much, everybody, for all of the money that you are helping raise for the amazing Blue Path. We are just ready to keep cooking. So we're ready to suit up, Mageius, when you are.
Thank you very much, all. Valiant, you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay, so we'll start in... I will point out, the reason why auto heal is allowed is to help with limiting, as I showed you earlier, with taking the damage and taking it and that kind of stuff like that, so that way it really does make things a lot more safe. And because the developers expect you to try to beat this entire game with one life, with one single health bar, and very, very, very low healing. Anyway, let's start with a 3, 2, 1, let's go!
Good luck.
Now, as I said already, Shin is the main character for Macross 0. Don't ask me all about that one, because most of the franchise has been in Japan exclusively, except for the first show, Super Dimensional Fortress Macross, for close to 40 years. Then again, it is finally getting over to the West. Thank you, Disney, for actually letting it be brought out in streaming platforms. Anyway, we're going to go quickly right here. We have 3 different modes for our fighter here. The fighter which we are using, the Gearwalk, which is a hybrid between a fighter and a giant mech, and then our Battleoid, which is the giant mech form. Valiant, you want to add a few things while I'm quickly trying to get through the first part of the stage?
Sure. So as May just said, you know, this is like a huge franchise that is just coming to the US, but actually, this franchise has 4 TV series, 4 movies, 6 OVAs, a light novel, 5 manga series, and 40 video games, as well as 2 crossover games. This franchise is huge.
Not just that, but it's also had at least 2 musical acts performing their own stage shows.
You're telling me that I can watch Mech Musical?
Yes. Well, at least stage show musical, not one, as a few of the acts have actually had their own concerts. Just like how Sailor Moon has had one of those in the 90s. And something like Prince of Tennis too, but that's just more weird anime facts. Anyway, we're now on the second part where we are using the Battleoid. Story-wise, essentially it is one of those, you know, like, hey, something happened, everybody is now, you know, in their own, you know, everybody's come together to do a, you know what I mean, like the, like, fan service type, semi-fan service thing. When I get close here, shoot that there, get there, and beat this pretty fast. Not my cleanest, but you can start to see just like how damage will add up on that one. And now back to the fighter person. Each stage is based off of something from each of the different shows. And although for myself, I've only seen the, as I said, I've only seen the first one. However, shoutouts to Robotech for actually it being, for the first part being used to base its first arc on. Anyway, we're going to position ourselves just here, slide over this way. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention, part of the reason why we are getting rid of those jammers is to be able to do some kick-ass music from the franchise. Because they give us, on that one, avoid the last enemy there, and we're through the first stage. The franchise, as I said, is experimental with a lot of different music. Not one. The DLC, we will get to hear from the first movie. I will deliberately go out of my way to try to guarantee that we all get to hear at least a little bit of Do You Remember Love? Because Minbei is shy and it takes a long time for that piece to start.
So, Mageius, help me with a quick question that I've got. I don't know if it was mentioned, but you've got Macross, which is tied in with, I believe it's Studio New, right? And Studio New, if memory serves me correct, is also responsible for the Armored Core series, which is another awesome, awesome series that I just love to really enjoy and play.
I'm actually unsure on that one. That one, I try to know some of the stuff about the lore and everything else like that, like some of the actual, you know, production side, but not as much as I should.
Well, if it makes you feel any better, I brought that up on Wikipedia, so it's got to be true, right?
Yeah. I mean, to be fair, some of the actual voice actor talent for the franchise has done a lot. Not when I've gone on to do a lot. I think the Wikipedia also says that the voice actor for Roy, who is dies early on in the original, but he is the main character, Rick's mentor. Also, surprisingly enough, in Macross 0, as he's one of the legendary fighter pilots at the time. guess it's a one thing about the lore. The fact that the way the game, the lore started, well, I shouldn't say lore, but the reason why you have a giant 50-foot mech is because humanity basically stumbled across a alien spaceship that crash landed on Earth, essentially ending a war that lasted like 10 plus years. Best way to describe it, think about it this way. Humanity, like, imagine if something like World War III or something like that happened, and it was stopped in a single night because an alien ship crash landed on Earth. I think that might stop a global war because humanity suddenly realized, hey, we might want to come together to figure out what the hell happened here. Anyway, Zero is all about, you know, the time in between from when it crash lands to what happens, basically leading up to the day where they finish rebuilding it and all that kind of stuff like that. But they find that, like, you know, there are aliens out there that are like 50 feet tall, and I'm probably doing a horrible job of explaining this, but overall, essentially that's why they build the Valkyrie fighters, because one of the main themes of the franchise has been love, space, music, and its variable transforming fighter. As the franchise is one of the OGs that helped popularize the transforming fighter, well, the transforming mech genre. And you can also hear just like, oh, go ahead.
Oh no, if you've got things, you go. I was just gonna yap.
Go ahead. I'm just setting up the move for the boss. Yeah.
Well, you mentioned the transforming fighter thing, and you know, Joe brought up earlier Studio New. Shoji Kawamori is the one person who is the developer, actually, that was the designer primarily for Studio New, and he is actually the one that went on to design the transforming mecha for Transformers,
Really?
the 1986 version. So arguably, we can thank Macross for the existence of Transformers.
Not just that, but
Just with the deep facts.
not just that, but also for helping popularize virtual idols. I'm not joking there. You'll see what I mean to some degree, but the fact of just like how much music has meant to the franchise is just done a lot. I know we're all probably not.
Yeah.
Go ahead. I've just got to.
Oh no, I was gonna say it looks like there's yeah, Minmay, which is a character in Macross, was one of the first fictional idol singers, which means I think we also thank Macross for Vocaloid. I think that's the conclusion that we have here.
I mean, I believe Eric has pointed out, and I'm talking about one of our fellow runners, so the Discord has pointed out that he believes because they broadcast Minmay in a giant hologram form in Do You Remember Love, that is one of the great examples of like when that started. There's probably other examples before then, but just goes to show you that yes, something like that was happening in the 80s. Because this franchise is over 40 years old, it is very complicated, and just still ongoing on that one. But anyway, we're in stage 3 here, and we're so far just doing everything needed, making sure we get through everything nice and neat. Yeah, screwed up one movement there, but still good enough. We'll just keep moving here. And you'll notice that I'm just basically avoiding most things. If you see those containers there, they contain stuff for the gallery in the game, which we really don't need in the speedrun sense. Although timing in this is done via real time, just because I did not want to have to try to figure out how to adjust for taking deaths or anything else like that. And arcade mode or story is allowed. It just changes the order at which you will take each mission. And for story, it's based off of what character you're playing as. But part of the reason why I choose to use arcade mode is I want the order for the final mission because of the music given in the medley of music. Because, let's just put it this way, I'll explain and keep that as a surprise for you all for when we get there. And if you're wondering why I'm always trying to line up in the center before to something else is because it saves a little bit of time, so that way the game does not have to Mega Man 1 you and move you to move you back to the center. Because
well, we have this amazing musical break. Joe, do we have any messages from the world?
Absolutely, I've got you covered. We had a $10 donation from Anonymous that says, shoot 'em ups? Yes, please. And that donation went towards a couple of different things, but right now we have one major thing I want to bring to your attention, and that is the Death's Door starting weapon. I promise I'll get this over the J-pop banger that's going on right now, where you get to pick the starting weapon for Death's Door. We have Umbrella in first place, Hammer in second place, but you know what? Sword, Great Sword, and Daggers needs a little bit of love too, so when you go to donate, select that poll, and let's make it happen. We also have a $500 milestone incentive where we can unlock these. Let's make it happen, everybody.
And with all that, I got rid of one of the rivals for the game. Well, rivals in as far as the show goes, as they've always had like multiple pilots on that one. Gotta give fans what they want. Sorry, had to quickly grab a drink while waiting for the load screen. To note, I am playing on the Switch version. It is also out on PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5, and PC, with the PC currently being available outside of Japan, being the first game in the franchise history to actually be released outside of Japan. And a proper English version for Switch, PS4, and PS5 is coming out December 6th this year. And I know there's a few people on the Discord, and I've also talked with quite a few speedrunners that are fans of the franchise that are probably waiting to just play it on that one. And I've outright told them, I'll have notes for y'all if you ever do decide to pick up the run.
I think the interesting part, Mageius, is going to be once that English version is released, if they're all considered to be part of the same category, which one will be faster? Will it be the English or the Japanese version?
Considering we could skip through all the cutscenes, it depends on whether or not there's anything extra that they did to adjust things, like possibly getting rid of some stuff. I know it's not going to have the DLC because first that's Japanese exclusive because of Do You Remember Love and a few things they had to give up to Harmony Gold in order to be able to bring it over to the West because of Robotech, but I don't want to go into a 35-year plus legal thing that finally managed to end on that one. Thank you, 1980s, and some of the stuff or where you had to combine things to be able to meet your quotas for TV airing and syndication. That took me a minute to think about what I wanted to say there. Anyway, right now we're just fighting the Orions. These are not real aliens, but they are actual. God, how best to say? They are sort of like drones. I might add the original name of the aliens that landed for the first franchise were the Zentradi, and huge shout-outs to the fact of them being very warlike and music being one of the things that helped show that war was not the only way. Because when you have the ability to shrink down from a 50-foot tall alien to human-sized, and you hear music for the first time, you hear J-pop for the first time, that suddenly makes it feel like, oh yeah, maybe we don't just think about war only. I said there's a lot of history for it, and we'll also get to see the first virtual idol and AI idol for the franchise in this stage. Essentially, God, I forget all the names on that one, but you can enjoy the music here on that one. And you can see this, how I will lose a second or two there for not being in dead center. So what do you both think about the music so far?
Definitely a bop. We're definitely jamming.
I said it had a lot of good music to it. And this is just part of it. It's gone the whole range from almost from idol music to rock bands to to basically going from like that, there, quieter, the whole virtual thing, as you can see here. And we'll move there to actually take out the enemy here. Now I want to position myself right here. Get rid of that one, move down here immediately. Roll to avoid the actual attacks. And use the fact that every now and then the game does not want to read your when you get hit. I don't know if that's a mechanic or what have you. I have not played the PC version and don't have a PS4 or 5 to be able to determine that one. If it's something to do with the Switch is with how they frame rate or anything else like that, but we are now through stage 4. The run goes pretty fast.
Great job. Yeah, you're doing a great job so far.
Cool.
If you got any incentives, feel free. Oh, that's it.
Yeah, really quickly, I'd love to just ask you a question though, Mageius, and I'm happy to give some updates on what we've got going on here. But music seems to be a very prevalent part of the game. But what is one of your favorite, bops here in the game?
I really haven't picked one for that one. I like them all, although there is one that I will tell you about that I do like to say I'm dancing with the game when during a certain mission. And
awesome. I'd love to see it. Definitely let us know when that comes up.
I think you'll understand why I say that, because it's during one of the boss fights, and it's the style of the boss fight for what's required. Now, I will sadly have to say we won't be getting to hear any of the music for this particular stage if we are lucky. Not a bad thing, it's just legitimately we beat the stage faster than the game basically gives you to unlock it. Because not enough the jammers to do that, since the second part is another Battleoid section. And you can see it for the first time, the gear walk here. The hybrid form. Now, for fun reference, my strengths in shmups come from horizontal style things, so you usually won't see me screw up here. Vertical, yes. Horizontal and twin stick, not really. But this just goes to show you that you can become pretty decent at a lot of different genres in the same type, a lot of different types of genres. Now, when you should have seen how it was when I first started playing this game, I was god-awful. I will say, however, that this is a very, very, very easy to learn shmup, and we have categories for every character, because each character having their own stats, their own weapon style, does dramatically change how each of the characters play, and because story mode has a different route for each character, it was just worth doing it that way. Around here, there, dodge there. I might add that I am having to do this all with both the left and the right analog stick to be able to aim on that one while dodging everything with that, and also noting that if I dodge roll, I do not center back. It does not go directly back to the center of the screen. So you have to do a little bit of camera offshoot. By the way, the name for the fighter itself is referred to as the Valkyrie fighter. Gotta love the whole Norse mythology reference there, and the fact of, God, I forget what I was gonna say. Maybe I want to move down here, up here, there, fire our missiles here. You will see me use the assist attack as much as possible on some things, because they gave you a full screen clearing attack for what a vertical shmup would be in a horizontal level, so getting the ability to use that is kind of broken in a horizontal way. Also, say hi to the lead singer for the Firebombers, one of the two actual Macross musical groups that actually broke out into mainstream pop culture. If I recall correctly, they were even releasing a new album again this year. It's just all randomly on like one of those random Google Google, like, hey, we think you might enjoy this type stuff. And what's even funnier is, go ahead.
No, I think this is awesome. I love the lore that you're dropping with us to kind of get a better understanding of the effect that Macross has had on just culture in general, and especially the anime scene and J-pop scene over the years. It's really interesting.
In all fairness, one of the more interesting things is that I believe it was Macross Plus? No, wait, it's either Plus or 7. I forget which it is. And trust me, I had to look up a lot of the stuff for myself. And shoutouts to a lot of the community on Reddit and a lot of the fans over here that have provided little bits and pieces here and there to help me out, or at least being able to talk a bit more about it. In fact, it reminds me, I wanted to post something on Reddit to let them know that this was happening, but yeah, I'll have to let them know about it for Sunday, because I've got to do a very hard mode run for Retro Gaming Live's TV's September SMUP thing. Shoutouts to me doing the same run, twice in one weekend. But oh yeah, now I remember what I was going to say. If you think that Macross isn't popular to some degree, how I said that the Fire Bombers, the one rock band they did for one of the things, as I said, I believe it was from either 7 or Plus. So that anime came out in the 90s. It is, and I'm not talking late 90s, I'm talking mid-90s, early to mid-90s. And they're doing a new thing now in 2024, and it's probably going to sell well. Does that tell you just the staying power?
Well, bangers are always going to be bangers, so it is what it is, right?
Yep. I also highly recommend, if both you and Valiant are enjoying it, definitely check out YouTube for just some of the other music. It's not just been openings and endings to the show. It is legitimately done by the voice act. I believe it's the voice actors for each of the characters, but don't quote me on that one, as I really do need to look up more information on that one myself. But no, every one of the franchise animes has actually had its own musical acts and everything like that. I'll pop an assist attack here so I can make sure to give myself a bit of breathing room. As I said, you may not see me use the assist attack as much, just because I want to save it for the bosses when I can, or as a get out of jail free card so I don't die. I may be making this look good, but that it is literally a lot harder than it does look, but it's also at the same point pretty easy to learn.
So are you controlling, you have that cone, that blue cone that goes and focuses and allows you to do some of those lock-in targets. Is that how are you controlling where you're
second
shooting?
Analog stick. I am legitimately, if I want to do that, having to twin stick that entire thing while controlling it with an analog stick. Because hold on a minute, gotta position it just so I can avoid all the attacks here. Wait for the 2 lasers on the side to go before popping the assist attack here so I can do that. And let's hope I can get the quick kill here. As if you can kill the enemy at a certain time on screen with health, it sometimes will let you skip the entire second half of it. Looks like I missed it, but still made it through. If you also notice on the right-hand side of the screen that shot circle that's slowly depletes, that is how strong my weapon is. And the rate is basically for how much damage I'm doing.
For the record, Mageius, I want to say it's extremely impressive that you're fielding our questions while going through absolute madness on stream. Valiant, I'm sorry, I actually didn't hear the question that you had last. Could you just repeat it one more time?
I was asking how exactly, essentially, Mageius was doing his shooting, because you have the bullets, and then you have I think what he was just demonstrating for us, that blue cone.
That is for missiles.
Second analog stick.
So even on PC, you'd still have to actually use some form of twin stick. Most likely it's the mouse, but I haven't really tried mouse and keyboard because I am horrible at doing stuff with a mouse at present. I don't know if it's because of the type of mouse I've got, or if it's just something like that, and I don't feel like having to... Let me phrase it. I haven't felt like spending the money to go to actually go looking to see about finding the perfect thing for a mouse on that one. But yes, it's surprising that Steam considers this a bullet hell. I have seen bullet hell games. This is not really as much of a bullet hell as it feels.
Would you call it a bullet heck then?
Yeah, I guess. On that one. I mean...
And is this a good time for me to chime in with a quick update for everybody?
Feel free.
Awesome, great. We have raised $285 for Blue Path. Everybody, you are doing an amazing job. I want to give you a quick update on our incentives. We have a poll lined up. It's the Death's Door starting weapon. Umbrella's in first place, Hammer is in second, but give a little love to Sword, Great Sword, and Daggers if you can. We've also got the Milestone incentive at $500. You can allow Jay to load up their farm on Fae Farm, where we're going to get a little tour of that farm and then get a showcase of an infinite bee glitch with the jar of bees. I know that I want this to be the meme of the event, so much so that I'm hoping that this next dog is called Bees. So please, let's get to $500. I want to see bees. You want to see bees. Maybe you don't, but please just do it for me, really, because I really just want to see bees.
I mean,
floor's yours, Mageius.
Thanks, Joe. It does make me wonder, if you have an infinite amount of bees, does that give you an infinite amount of honey?
Ask him the tough questions, the right questions.
Anyway, we want to move down here, so that way I can avoid a lot of the attacks in this one. I guess I'll pop an assist attack so I don't die. You have to admit that the music here is actually very good. Even the J-pop music on that one. By the way, this I'd have to say is one of my favorite pieces of music in the game, not because of the music, but for its beneficial effect. The game only gives you like 2 songs at most that give you healing. This is one of them. I might add this is stage 6, so effectively without auto healing would not have had anything to heal until, except for the stage end things, until here. So yeah, there's a reason I allow it in, the speedrun for this game, because I don't expect people to play perfectly. I don't expect, speedrunners to try to play perfectly. The only way you can truly reset your health is to legitimately go out and start a fresh game to some degree, but then you also lose what power-ups you have. But the game does let you start, pick what level you want to start on, so practicing is a bit easier. I even have a tutorial for the entire, for a lot of the boss fights for normal. You gotta enjoy this jazzy beat.
Well, so you just said you have a guide for how to do most of the bosses in normal. Does that mean that for each of the different levels, are there different boss phases and patterns that you have to learn for each of those?
For difficulty, they're all the there's some differences on that one, but it's all the same bosses on that one, and I've got info on that one to make it easier so that way people can survive. I've got it all with Shin, because in all honesty, every character has got its own unique thing and their own unique weapon, and some of them are good, some of them are not so good for gout damage. Also, some of them have stronger health and weaker health, so Shin just has a good balance from it. Oops. Hit that at the very end, so lost a couple seconds as they had to move me back to the center, but it is what it is there. Not my cleanest, but still. I will say though, so out of what you heard, what's your favorite piece of music so far?
The last one was a bop. I enjoyed that one. I was kind of bouncing around in my seat while that was going on.
Again,
I was also actually jumping and kind of rocking in my seat to that. It was very good.
As I said,
I'm not gonna lie, Mageius. I'm working on 2 hours of sleep. I've got a 4-week-old right now, and I do not sleep much nowadays.
Hey.
And that song was healing me as I'm sitting here, so I was getting hyped for it.
as I said, the franchise, even if you're not a fan of mechs or stuff like that, it's got love as one of its main core elements, space, and enough amazing music that even if you're not, one of those fans on that one anime-wise, highly recommend just YouTubing the music. I mean, hell, how many people do you think have at least heard the opening, you know, to like some of the very well-known anime franchises? Like, I'm betting you probably heard at least the opening to like something like Evangelion, even if you're not a fan of the series.
Very true.
I mean, some animes just have great music, whether it be opening, ending, or just the show overall. Avoid that one there, I'll be there, and I'll pop an assist attack here. This boss here is one of my favorites. But
Why is that?
I'll leave it as a surprise. We're almost to it, even though in the first part. Though this also has the interesting thing of being the actual like fourth hidden type of shooter shmup in a behind the shoulder, over the shoulder style thing. And to avoid these, we'll just, you know, let them come, use our missiles on that one, and try to like lead them to certain areas to be able to dodge roll out of the way.
And I thought this was something that was pretty cool about this game when I was looking it up, because I'm seriously going to consider it when it comes out in December to add it to my Switch library, was the different modes, or at least the different point of views or perspectives that you have. Sometimes you have that horizontal, sometimes a vertical, sometimes you've got this, you know, point of view that you're working with. It's a lot of different variation, and I like that.
And I'm a huge fan of telling people, try out different styles of speedruns. Try out, like, you know, the more you can try to do some hybrid style stuff, the better you get overall at speedrunning and just gaming in general. I mean, hell, it's one of the reasons why I tend to play a lot of different styles of games. Okay, so I said I really like this boss. Watch closely. As I said, I really do like this
Locked
boss.
in right now.
I like this boss because it's literally the easiest in the game. Full screen attack and both of those ships count as a boss target, so they are taking basically double. So it's essentially sort of like a boss that spans the entire length of the screen, taking a fully vertical shmup, full screen clear attack. I mean, gotta give it to you for like when we get some easy stuff. And we're now on to the DLC stage. Remember, it's to mention. How are we looking on time?
We're doing great so far. Right now you're looking at 32 minutes and 43 and counting seconds.
Okay, so I do have enough time for this. I'm going to go out of my way to do something for you all. Normally, I would want to just beat everything as fast as possible here, but it's Remembrance Convention. It's Do You Remember Love? And I might add that the actual film that it's based off is still considered a masterpiece as far as the animation goes to this day by a few people. So we'll go like that there, down there, drop there. Quickly do that there. Essentially, timeline and Macross timeline, we are in a giant battle, you know, for the fate of Earth. I might add one of the reasons why music is in the game as far as a mechanic goes is to help simulate the, like, those epic battles with music that the anime is known for. But storyline-wise, as I said, we're in like an epic battle for the fate of the Earth right now with the Zentradi. I said it was going back to the 80s on that one, but we're going to. I'm going to try to give you all a chance to hear Do You Remember Love. If you notice the sync thing, the sync side of stuff for the game down at the bottom, that shows us how likely we are to hear the music. So killing enemies does increase that a little bit. So I'm going to try to give you all a little bit of music from it by just taking a bit of extra time to get rid of more enemies, so you all get a better chance of healing. Not healing, hearing it. So after all, it is DLC on that one, and normally DLC is not used for the leaderboard just because of it being slower, having to do an extra mission. But in a marathon setting, I think it's worth letting y'all have some good music. And as I said, mid-May is... But go ahead.
Oh, no, it's fine. I was going to say, Mageius, while you're working on getting that music lined up for us, another banger, can I give everyone a quick little update?
Sure thing.
All right, so we have just opened another poll for you to attribute your donations to, and that would be the Fae Farm Name the Chicken poll. You are able to help name that chicken. We have a variety of names up there for you. You can name it Karen, Big Peep, which I'm particularly fond of. Let's go, Big Peep. We've also got Hasune Miku, and then you can submit your own as well if you put one in your comment when you go to donate. So please, when you go to donate, select that poll, make your donation go further, and let's keep it rolling, everybody, all in the name of Blue Path.
And there's Min-Mei in the corner. And this is the song that actually helped with making it, her side of thing, popular. As I said, you gotta go for a lot of the stuff to get it. I have to actually move out of my way to actually dodge this enemy's attack because of how it is. Done before the chorus. I'll move out of the way and try to add this just a tiniest bit more to let y'all get a bit more of it. Macross, well, the Super Dimensional Fortress Macross 1. Which was a giant transforming ship that, as I said, that crash landed on Earth.
I will say, Mageius, I felt like it was the Oscars for a second. I was in the midst of giving my spiel for the new poll, and I heard the music going, and I'm like, Jojo, you gotta wrap it up. You gotta wrap it up.
It's okay. Also, we are now to Earth, or as it calls it, the Alluring Planet. Since Shin's, this is the stage based off of Macross 0. Since Shin is the... Since his thing takes place during the interlude after the end of the war and leading up to the Macross landing, well, crash landing, that's one of the only few that takes place on Earth. It's also one of the more, it is argued as the most combat focused of the franchise, and also sadly doesn't have the best idol on that one, but because of that, and it's also only 6 episodes, and was done in the early 2000s, like 20 years after the original show. But even still, by the way, for those that are wondering why I actually have an affinity for Shin, oddly enough, it's from Robotech Battlecry, one of the other games that I have rooted and run, because it reminds me of the main character from there. See, can I do this without dying, please? Low health. But no, it's because Shin sort of, is recruited by Roy to help test the Valkyries afterwards, if I recall the lore correctly. As I said, I have not seen all of it because of, for the longest time, it not being available in English. I'll move here, drop down here so I can avoid these ships. And now I'm going to shut up for a minute because I need to concentrate.
That's alright. It was a nail biter, but it was close.
I know. First step in the run. Still not that bad on that one. Probably, it's going to cost a tiny bit of time, but you can just see, how much, where it finally sets you back in the middle of a run. And also, you can also see just, the devs did give you a little bit of a nice thing by giving you the ability to keep where you were in power and health. But apart from that, as I said,
it's okay, because it just means we get a little more time to hang out together. and talk a little bit more about this awesome game. And I can't help but notice the importance, or at least how tied the music is to the game. It seems like it's a really amazing combo, just like the combo of Multithon and Blue Path, because Multithon Rivals is a speedrunning event raising money for Blue Path Service Dogs, a charity that provides service animals to autistic individuals. Multithon focuses on co-ops, runs, races, and games with multiple protagonists or helper characters, led by the belief that we are better and faster together.
Very true. Valiant, do you want to chime in with anything?
You know, I was gonna say, you know, like we had that callback to the music and how, like, you know, things are all together. The final franchise that I think was potentially majorly inspired by this, which I find hilarious. So before, you know, we mentioned we've got Transformers. Thank you, Macross, for Transformers. Thank you, Macross, for Hatsune Miku. And apparently also thank you for inspiring Top Gun.
Well,
and
what?
also like the idea, or like the plot point of having like a woman boss and commanding officer in like war-based movies apparently first appeared in Super Dimension Fortress Macross, and potentially inspired Top Gun.
I'm pretty sure they probably had it sooner, but it was one of the first few, if I recall correctly.
It did come out before Top Gun.
I know, I'm saying before. I'm pretty sure they had something in anime before then, but I got no clue, and I'd have to actually go look on that one. And you see the idol for Zero here. And I want to pop one of these because I had to stop, you know, and a bit overrun, having to like scratch the back of my neck because it's there. So we do what we can do. Anyway, this boss being in the over-the-shoulder style thing makes it... Oh, you'll see for yourself here. One positive thing about this piece of music is, well, if I take a hit, I get an increase to my, actual, assist meter, so I will be using that to my advantage. Positioned perfectly, and we're going into the final stage, which is the stage based off of shooting Insight itself. I'll point out that most of my estimate goes to basically if I die at this stage 2 times and then make it all the way back, it is essentially close to what, 12-ish minutes, because if I die at the final boss, which has happened once or twice, but we going into that one. Also note that we have an entire medley for that one. Because we beat the game so fast, we only get to hear 3 of the tracks, because we get to the final boss at the third track is going. If we were slower at the boss, we would actually get to hear more music, but final boss is a pain in the ass to avoid some of the attacks, so it is just worth beating it as fast as possible. You also get to hear the one Fire Bomber song from Mission 5 that we beat so fast that we could not hear all the way in Dynamite Explosion. I will say this much. Once we get to the refrain goes Dynamite, Dynamite Explosion. Feel free to shout it out in chat. Oh, fun fact, you know the meme image of the one anime character eating a leaf? That's the main character from I believe it's Macross 7. Who is...
Hold on while I go into Google and look up anime character eating leaf.
Sure thing.
Love that the first first Google result is explaining the leaf GIF.
And here's the refrain coming up. I'll just say right now because I've screwed up. So I need to make sure I don't die.
Okay, pop off Steven Tyler. That's fine.
But nah,
I do notice your health in the upper left is like slowly going up, so that's an auto recovery feature
Yes.
for your health, right?
Yes, because if I didn't use it, I'd probably be dead by now. I did show you how little healing there was. And that's one of the things that, you know, as someone that, you know, understands we're all not going to be perfect, we're all not going to be at a high level in some things, that whenever I try to, like, at least root a speedrun, I try to come up with ways that everybody can actually try to learn a speedrun or have the ability to complete a speedrun at a high level and show off their skill. Because I'd rather people be able to actually show off their skill set and enjoy a great speedrun, you know, even if there's less ways to make it a bit, you know, more fun for people. However, feel free to not use the auto-healing and submit a run to it. There's nothing that says not, but the very basic level is allowed. Although not on the in-game leaderboards, because they're more concerned about score than anything else. Fun fact, I actually have first place for the no DLC on very hard mode, with only beating 2 stages.
Flex on a Mageius.
Mind you, it's like, it is a... As I said, I will also point out that there's only been like one person to beat this game on very hard mode with the DLC. It is not me, but just to give context as far as just the in-game leaderboard goes, in order to submit anything to the in-game leaderboard, you have to not die. I'll slide down here, over there, slide back there, eat a hit because I screwed up there. It's quickly there at the very last second. Now then, the reason why I prefer to choose arcade mode over story, because yes, that's skippable, is for this piece of music right here. It may not heal, but it's got a very, very, very good benefit. Remember what I said about...
Which... Oh, no, go ahead.
I was going to say, so remember what I said about the music from the last stage? And how it gives the ability to get special... increase to the special when you take damage? This is what this piece of music does. So it helps trivialize the final boss. Because it just means I can take a hit and to be able to launch a full screen attack on it, and we're just going to basically be doing that. By the way, time is coming up, and hopefully that's if I don't die. I'll tell you when if I don't die. Okay, we should be able to finish this one.
I like that they switch between the different viewpoint modes.
Yep. Also, time will be when the screen turns white once we leave the once we basically head into that tunnel there. And time.
GG, Mageius.
Jeez.
Awesome, awesome job. That look, absolute banger. When you said that you get that music going into the final boss, I was going to jokingly say, I'm like, what, does it give you like banger powers because you're absolutely hyped behind it? But I appreciate the extra insight that it actually is helpful rather than just being a banger.
Yeah, I mean, you do get a different order depending on if you're playing story mode or if you're playing arcade mode. And sometimes it does change based on character here and there. But it's more consistent in arcade mode to give you that ability, because one of the other things is Dynamite Explosion, and I believe that only increases damage, but I'd have to legitimately go through and test out each individual thing for that one, and who has time, but I might add the timing for the run is done in RTA, because I honestly did not want to have to figure out the difference in, add to the total amount of in-game time, and the only give you in-game time in arcade mode, not story.
Awesome, awesome, awesome stuff. Hey, Mageius, where can everybody find you if they want to see some more awesome Macross content?
They can find me on my Twitch channel at twitch.tv/Mageius1. That's Mageius, and then the number 1. You can also find me, well, on Discord, I guess, with just, Mageius on that one. I tend to try to not use social media just because I want to avoid, like, the whole, seeing just all the random, like, BS that you usually hear about on things like Twitter and that kind of stuff, so... But at the same point, you can find me on my Twitch channel.
Awesome. And do you have any final shout-outs that you'd like to give as well?
Just remember to, well, thank you both, Valiant, for being here with me, and hopefully you both really did enjoy it.
Hell yeah.
Absolutely. It was an absolute blast. Everybody, let's give it up in chat for Mageius one more time for that amazing Macross shooting insight run. This is going to be a great time for everyone to grab a little bit of a drink, stretch a little bit, but don't go too far, and certainly don't touch that dial, because Multithon Rivals 2024 will be right back.